Dum. Good evening, everyone. and Welcome to the PDR Workshop live show. Sorry for the delay. Again, guys, we are Dent guys, not audio and visual. What is it? Creators
Masters.
or masters. So every time we turn this stuff on, stuff doesn't work. But this time around, Dave looks like he was taking a nap today. So, but I want to welcome everybody to the show, episode 68, which is the truth about the PDR industry. I think this should be a good one.
I think so as well.
So I want to thank the sponsors for allowing us to continue to come up with this um, production here, this lovely production. That is Blehm Tools, Dentcraft Tools, and Mobile Tech RX, guys. So while we get our computers up and running, I want to, yep, here we go. We got, yep, there we go. All right, so we haven't brought out the tools, and I have a new thing from Dent Gents. It's called the Inspection Wedge, I believe. So, yeah, the Inspection Wedge. So this is a wedge that he came up with. He designed. Well, his idea. I think he's got some help from with 3D, with I guess the guys that do CAD and 3D printing. But I have the first one. This is the finished kind of product here, and it has a little flashlight inside of the wedge, which is like a no-brainer. I mean, I always use my phone, kind of slide my phone down there with the
Yeah, I'm the
wedge,
same way.
man. So
I
yeah,
remember him showing us this idea not too long ago, and it's nice that it's finally actually come to fruition here. Is this the final?
yeah, this is the final one.
Okay,
I have one that was like rough.
it's smaller actually. It
Yeah,
looks
yeah, it
like I think
was.
at MTE last year he was kind of talking about it a little bit.
Yep.
It was kind of under wraps and everything else, but yeah, this is cool. It's actually a great idea. Like you said, I do the same thing with my cell phone. Yeah, and I think shines inside of that whole panel instead of
Yeah,
from the top where you can only get limited light.
right.
This is actually in there, lighting up the entire area where you'll be sticking your tool in.
Great idea. Absolutely phenomenal idea from the inspection wedge. Unfortunately, I don't know where you get this from. I would think that A1 or Anson probably has it. I was try Anson, guys, or reach out to Dent Gents, Hudson, and he'll lead you where you can purchase this. I think it's fresh off the assembly line here and ready for delivery here. This is a nice thing.
I'm sure there'll be a version 2 and 3 and 4 coming
Yeah.
soon. It'll be notched out like a talon from Stucky or something like that soon enough. So I
I
know
mean
that's what
that.
happens a lot of times with text.
Yeah.
They think of a great idea and then it just slowly gets revamped over time. I think Chris is actually in the process of doing the same with his hammers. So
Yeah.
um, great idea. Awesome. Props to Hudson. Shout out to him for that.
Yeah.
Just due to just ingenuity. I mean, like
Yeah.
that something so simple like a little flashlight. Is this battery powered? I would
Yeah.
assume.
So it's battery powered. He was stating that I think he didn't want you to kind of take out I guess it's like a little flashlight in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a little Allen key right here. It doesn't
Okay.
come with the Allen key, but I think you can just back this out and then just push the flashlight up, change the battery, push it back down, tighten it up.
Nice.
So, I mean, he thought of pretty much everything. This is probably about a year in the making, I think. And so, yeah.
So one of our viewers here is saying Dentcraft has an Anson and A1. So if you guys are
Oh,
looking for it, just probably search Inspection Wedge on any PDR website. Dentcraft, one of our sponsors, has it, so you can go straight there and go ahead and pick up an
I
inspection
can't hear you
wedge.
there.
Pick up an inspection wedge. So should be good with that.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, let's get on to the topic of this evening here. I can't wait for this. So, the truth about the PDR industry. I think, Dave, we came up with this topic this morning, like we do on the fly, and I think we were in a few meetings over the past few days with other technicians, and we realized that. Well, I think we always realized that the industry needs to grow. It wants to grow. Um, And I think it just needs technicians and business owners to kind of unite and align and grow this into something, lucrative and that you can pass down to generations, and go from there, I would think. So, Dave, you want to talk about? You want to kind of preface this whole video about like how we started the topic? What did you get out of it, like when we created this topic?
Yeah, so the way we came up with this topic was like you said in a meeting that we just recently had, and every Monday rolls around, we're like, okay, so what are we gonna do for a topic? We do have a list typically that we try to go off of, but we try to keep it like pretty current
Pretty
as
fresh, yeah.
to something that we've currently either done or talked about just in person. And with this, we had a local technician here that we were just having just lunch with, and we kind of laid out, I guess, Dentless Touch's entire plan
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
to this tech, and just kind of gauged where they were in their business. He didn't come for advice or
yeah.
anything
No,
like that. We
yeah.
were just kind of just going back and forth,
More so
and
getting his advice on what
yeah,
what
what
the move
someone
is.
who's
Yeah,
kind of newer to the industry is looking for, and is already in business by themselves, already has accounts, uh, is already pushing, pretty proficient with their pushing, wants to get their skills up a little bit more, but just kind of just like a nice fun lunch. And once we got done, me and Chris are in the car, and it's like, wow, we just kind of told them the entire idea, one, of Dentless Touch, and two, kind of just how hard it is to really
yeah,
put into place what we are currently working on, and where we're at now with the company, and where we have to go still. It's going to be a long road. It is a long
yeah,
road. It's
yeah.
always a tough road,
Very much.
especially
Yeah,
in this business, in this industry, because of, I think, just the sheer bottleneck of growth. It's very hard to scale.
very.
That is the biggest, I think, thing with this company. And we kind of go back and forth sometimes, like, why are we doing this? What there's so many other businesses that are so easily scalable, and if we just put the time and effort into it, like, we would be where we wanted to be, I think, just in business. But what keeps us going is that
Is the
challenge.
challenge? Yeah, I was getting ready to say
It's
it's definitely the challenge.
is
It's
that
definitely,
challenge, and
man.
once you can, I think, scale the unscalable, that's where you win, right? And so that's where we kind of came together and thought about it. It's like, man, do people really know the truth about like how hard PDR is?
Yeah,
um I feel there's just kind of a stigma. Once you have the skill itself, you can kind of go on and start your own business, and yeah, that's fine. And we have many shows where we talk about the solopreneur versus the entrepreneur, and the road you go down with both of those. And so we just kind of wanted, I think, just deliver on some information on how hard it really, really is to do this. And it's not to deter anyone, or not to scare anyone away from getting into PDR. We
yeah,
actually want more people
yeah,
to know about it and to get into it. It would make our job easier, I guess, with
yeah,
recruiting or hiring,
yeah,
if more people were in it, but didn't maybe want to run the business side or something like that. Maybe there's other avenues
yeah.
in with PDR that they don't want to do.
Right.
And that's kind of what our whole conversation was geared towards, at least in that meeting. Why our company would be superior to other people, either local or far away.
Yep.
Um, because we're already kind of steps ahead where people kind of want to be.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we can come in and bring a certain level of, um,
Simplicity.
yeah,
Support.
yeah,
Then
to a person or their company in this area, and it would make things, like you said, a lot smoother.
yeah.
And so we kind of came up with this topic, and really just thought that we just kind of deliver the truth on what we think.
What the industry needs and the
Yeah.
industry wants. So we have a little guidelines we're gonna go off of here, and it's just the evolution of our industry. Um, when I first 4 to 5 years, I wasn't really focused on the industry as a whole. It was only a job for me. And so I wasn't really aware of a lot of the things that were around me. And, we come from more of a retail, maybe wholesale background. So some of the Hell guys that may be listening to us, they may have a different view of the industry. So it's only from one angle here. So, but for me, I've watched the industry grow on a more retail side. Before, I was working for Dent Masters, and they did have a strong retail presence, but it was all word of mouth through the dealership. No one really, I mean, through the body shop, no one really seeked out paintless dent repair. And now you see, Google searching and people actually Googling paintless dent repair, probably because of, avenues like YouTube and Instagram. And now people are able to see what a proficient, PDR technician can do. So it's really helped at least on the retail side, the evolution of, the paintless dent repair on the repair side. Um, and the part of this show is the business side that needs to kind of catch up with it. I feel as though.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's really popular right now to be your own
oh yeah, it's it's
business
it's
owner,
like
right?
entrepreneurship is the
That's
new job.
yeah, that's it, right? And people don't realize that with PDR, there's probably a lot of other things that you can get into
Yeah,
business wise than trying to build and scale
yeah.
a PDR business.
I think the one aspect of that conversation that we had was, basically, as we were talking, it was almost as if a lot of people want to be have it just a job. And I kept trying to bring it back with, a business will not be thinking like that. A person that wants a job will be, but not a business. And so, if you want to be successful, you want to have a long term career or a business, you got to be thinking like a business, not like, oh, okay, well, I made money today. That's good. And I can pay my rent or my mortgage or whatever case. Kids can eat and all that good stuff. You got to be thinking like, long term, in a business sense. So, and this again comes back to why we wanted to, share this topic. So where have you seen the industry grown in the last 10 years that to either help or hurt the industry, Dave?
So then one more time.
What have you seen in the last 10 years that either helped or hurt the industry?
I
And you
th-
guys can respond. I'm sorry, Dave.
no, yeah, you're fine. But I think just within the last 10 years, just I think just the overall what's it called, avenues for information. Information is just readily available, which makes things easier,
I didn't even
right?
think of that.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
definitely makes things easier. One with PDR because you get to watch videos and other techs that are online putting their stuff on there.
Yeah.
They're putting out information on business and stuff like that. So this information is out there, not only in just the PDR sense and then just the overall business sense. Someone can go to YouTube and build their own business. It's definitely doable.
Right.
You're just putting in that work. You're putting in that extra work. And some people, like you said earlier, are just that's not their wheelhouse. They're
Right.
they're better at just grinding day in and day out, having a great paycheck, great livelihood, but the whole business is not their thing.
Right.
And there's a lot of pieces to that pie,
Right.
as you know, just day in and day out. Um, that can be very, very challenging, and that over time can become very, very stressful um, if certain systems and processes aren't put into place from the jump. As an entrepreneur building a business, you don't know what systems and processes to start to put in place. You just kind of build that over time. Um, but the information is there for you to do it.
Right. It looks like Mark was saying R&Is are super easy now with the access of like YouTube videos that
Yeah.
show you exactly what to do. I think we use that on a daily basis. I try to not, I'm stubborn, so I try to go to it when I get stuck. Dave will just go to it and be like, all right, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
And obviously get the job done a little bit faster than me. But it's just different ways. But yeah, that has definitely helped a lot of people that were more timid about attacking certain jobs because they needed R&I. I was just talking to a technician. He was like, "Man, I find myself R&Ing a lot more now that I have a shop." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can do it now. Feel comfortable with it." I will warn you: the rear window of a Jeep is absolutely insane to remove, and we found that out the hard way. So, There is no video, but maybe
Yeah, you definitely did find out the hard way.
maybe we should just post the video that we did because there is no video on
Me,
YouTube
on the
for
other
it.
hand, I would have just approached it completely different. But anyway, yeah. But R&Is are, I mean, that's a true fact. Like R&Is for me now, like, yeah, they're easier because I'm in a controlled environment. I have access to
Yeah,
anything I need to take something apart. Whereas if you guys have been following along for the last year and a half, I do not like to R&I anything. That is my like last thing that I want to do is to R&I something I'm all about. Just speed and efficiency with
yeah,
where the car is without actually taking anything apart. So, and that's my biggest thing. Sometimes it's not the right way, not sometimes not the wrong way, but
yeah.
it's definitely just how I kind of just move in this. But
So
yeah,
R&Is has gotten a lot better.
hmm
Knowledge on the PDR, technicianal or technical side of things have gotten a lot better. You can learn a little bit about bigger damage, how to approach damage. There's a lot of glue pulling tricks that Kiko I think puts out videos on, and so information is just readily available nowadays. At least I feel like, and it's up to the tech to actually source out that information for sure. So if the information gotten a lot better for us, why hasn't the business actually grown? Because when you think about it, it's one truck, one guy, maybe a little helper, seasonal guy, nephew, something like that, and that's it.
why aren't PDR businesses scaling more? Like, why aren't there like larger?
Yeah, I mean, maybe not now. I look at it like this: why not invest in the time of the in the business side? And I think
Mhm.
a lot of it is when I first started my this company, um, I was working in the business nonstop, like 9 to 9,
Yeah,
and so
not looking at that long term so
yeah,
much.
yeah,
Very
I
short
was.
term
Hey, I need
thinking.
to pay my bills. I need to save up some money. I need to get a new, another house and just basic responsibilities. Just, you have a kid and another kid. It's like it just keeps adding up. And he
Chris
was
is
like,
just
all right,
popping them out over
he's got, you
here.
got, it's the bills just keep adding up now. And you just kind of just, all right, well, I'll just work even harder or work even harder. And maybe
Yeah.
your prices will go up a little bit. But when you run it like a business, your mindset just completely changes. You don't run around as much. You may make a little less money towards the beginning, but at the end, you probably make more, or it would just be more sustainable for you as you get older, as you get
With that
tired of
long term
pushing.
thinking, yeah,
Yeah,
putting those things into place for
and,
that.
and so there's just things that I would feel like you are running a business. You need to be investing into yourself. And, I don't know if PDR guys actually go to business meetings and stuff like that about the overall business, how to scale, how to deal with uh, any issues inside the business, maybe financing, stuff like that. And so I don't see a lot of guys doing it. I don't see a lot of guys talking about it. Uh,
And what are the, I mean, it's kind of one of those like,
Mark's
I'd
like,
be at a
what you say?
customer's driveway and is this your company? You got anyone else working for you? It's like one of the like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
biggest things just
yeah. They
as a
ask.
solopreneur and just as a customer just being curious, because they don't really know. They just hired this company to come, beat on their car with a hammer and push on their
Yeah,
metal. This company says they're going to fix their dents, but you know, that's one of the biggest things. And I remember the feeling I would have, like, man, like, yeah, it's my company.
but it's still,
Yeah, I'm the only one. There's
yeah.
no one else. It's just me. And it's tough, and it's like you
Yeah,
want to have conversations with about having multiple employees. And no, I'm the owner, but I also still push. But I got 5 guys, pushing body shop and retail for me. And I'm the one who could take care of these skilled repairs, which is why I'm here. But yet, yeah, there's other
yeah,
forms of either revenue coming in where if the customer is, business inclined, they're like, oh wow, good for you. Or, if
yeah.
someone's just like, oh, you're the owner, but you still push, like, oh, that's good for you as well. Like you
Right,
still
right.
like take care of your customers and really are invested into
Yeah.
your business. When that's not there, it's just like, man, like I wish it was. And we all know the hardest thing is getting that second person to mimic you, who pushes as
Yeah,
hard as you, who takes as much pride as you, who will push themselves in PDR just with repairs as much as you will. And it's very, very tough to just recreate and mimic yourself. But we're slowly
yeah,
figuring out, just even here, our own systems and processes to put in place to where we can kind of
Yeah.
streamline some of those
And
things.
that's what it is. It's right. It's taking the time at night instead of, you know, watching my YouTube videos. Actually, no, keep watching my YouTube videos. But instead of going down to these YouTube rabbit holes, I know at least that's one of my things. I just dive deep into YouTube. But maybe pick up some books that may help you build those processes, because that's the only way that's going to get you from that solopreneur to the to the real business owner. I feel as though I want to thank the sponsors because I didn't get it on the recording in the beginning, but I want to thank Blehm Tools, Dentcraft Tools, and Mobile Tech RX. Again, we use Mobile Tech RX for all the hail and everything that we're using now.
Daily.
You can get this inspection wedge from Dentcraft, and then I'll be ordering a few tools from Blend, showing you guys that new leverage tool that he has out from
Marty.
Marty.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to butcher your name. So
Mhm.
I want to thank those guys. But back on to systems, Dave, can you hand me that book they call Multipliers right there? So if any of you guys interested, I haven't read this book, but it came highly recommended. I go to this YouTube channel called Value Team. I've been following him when he had like 50,000 subs. But he recommended this book. It's called Multipliers from Liz Wiseman, I believe. I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like it's reverse or something, but can you see that? There you go. So he was stating, again, I haven't read the book, but it's basically how to duplicate yourself, how to coach, how to lead people that not necessarily mimic you, but kind of understand what you would do in certain situations, and that will make good decisions on that. So I'm looking forward to reading that book. If anybody's interested in scaling and stuff like that, or just have a person that wants to be your teammate, kind of like me and Dave, that's a great book. So kudos to that. Now, what makes well, I won't ask you. We got it right here. I think the one part of this industry that doesn't allow the guys to grow like some industries is how hard it is to scale. And it's the skill. It all comes down to the skill needed. I think a lot of guys can advertise, can market. They probably even have the work right there. It's just the skill that is needed. It is extremely hard. I feel like it's extremely hard to master. Now, it's not impossible. I love challenges, but I call it like learning a piano. Like that's what I say. It's just like learning piano.
Do you think that the time that you spent, like you said, working in the business
Hmm.
allowed you to be the caliber of tech that you
Oh, of
are? And
course.
that if you were to focus at half of that time, you were to then start focusing on the business, you would be as good of a tech?
What I would probably do is take my idle time, because I know when I was working so much in the business, like my playtime was just even harder. And so I would have more. That would been if I had to go back when I was 25. That's what I would tell myself. Read more, push more, read more, and enjoy life in a different way. I had a race team, and that right there will train you on the weekends and then come back on Monday. I mean, I was living a 25-year-old life, so like I had energy for days. Now it's like, oh no, 9 o'clock, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. But it's extremely hard to master. Malcolm I think Gladwin said that there's a principle of like 1,000 hours, and it's debatable, but it's basically to be a master of any field, you need 1,000 hours of practice, a deliberate practice. So that's what he says, and I started to think about it, like, all right, I did the math in my head real quick. Actually, I don't even have it. I think that's a roughly if you take like 60, I did like 65 days off. It's roughly like 5.5 something, 5.2 years or something like that. This says 5 years. I mean, he's pretty accurate on a PDR type scale. It takes 5 years to master, to be kind of like the master of that field.
Mhm.
Obviously not gonna be the best, but you'll be one of the greats, I guess I would say. And I mean, it's pretty accurate if you ask me, between 6 and 7 years to master. Now that takes a lot in order for for a business to scale and be lucrative. But one of the companies that have been able to do that, I feel as though, is the larger companies are able to train so efficiently to expedite that time. Do you feel that way, Dave, or no? I mean, I've only done one training. You've done another training. I mean, how do you feel about certain trainings, is that when you put those types of systems, would that help the a business owner? Because I know guys that send people to
Yeah.
other trainers. They don't even bother to train them. They literally just send them to other guys, and they come back. At least they can push some small
Something.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something.
and it's easier on them. I think that's the great idea. He can stay pushing.
Yeah.
He comes back. He knows his expectations, and he knows exactly what amount of work to line up for. I think it's perfect.
Yeah. Just subbing out your training for your
Yeah,
business.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
definitely
some
an
people,
option.
oh, I can train, but yeah, you can train, but I'm learning this really, really quick. Like, yeah, you can do it,
Yeah.
but do you really need to do
Yeah.
it?
No, it's an option, right? That's all
Right,
it is. It's an option. You can do it in-house, you can sub it out. Um, I don't think there's a right or wrong for either. I think
right.
that uh it's gonna come down to the person that's actually going. And hopefully you've done your due diligence with kind of weeding out any or just noticing any red flags that may come up, anything like that. But you're very confident in this person that you're about to train.
Right.
And whether it is in-house or subbing, it's going to come down to the person that you feel is going to kind of just have the same core values as you. They're going to kind of have the same passion as you, that they're excited to go to, "Oh, I can't wait to go to training,"
Yeah.
or they're contacting you during training, "Hey, this is what I just learned," and you're like, "All right, keep at it." And, "Oh man, this is super difficult." Like, "All right, keep at it." Either way, I don't think there's a right or wrong. It's going to just kind of what happens once they have that skill, once they're out of training. What are you, as the owner of that business or the lead tech, what are you doing with that person that's coming out? Are you molding them in the right way?
Yeah, I agree. So, before we wrap this up, we want to do something, we want to be positive before we leave. If you have any comments, any questions, feel free to put it in the chat. We want to give this time to, start the chat going and, kind of back and forth and some engaging content. But what do you think is needed to help the industry?
That's a loaded question, I feel.
I can go first. I think a certification is needed.
That's a great point.
I really do. I don't even care if I have to fly to California and test me and fly back. I don't care. I
Yeah,
really don't care. Some type of certification. When you look at AdWords, Google, you got to go to Google, be certified for Google AdWords. You need some type of certification
yeah.
that's known worldwide, that you at least know something. I was just at Caliber Collision, and the gentleman was taking a PDR iCar class, like just online. And of course, I was looking at the
You
questions.
chuckled.
Yeah, I was looking at the question. I said, "Oh, I'll take it. I'll help you out here." I failed it. Yeah, I was like, the terminology was completely different. Like, what are they talking about? I think it's this. I think it's this. He was like, fail. I was like, oh, let me not.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
Is that because you have non-PDR people putting that together? I mean, I don't really
Oh, of
know.
course, it was
So
non PDR people putting that together. They didn't know it was because it kind of was like body shop, like it was like estimating PDR, and of course the I guess iCar estimating side was like it's stuff like 6-inch dent this in this area. I'm like, yeah, I repair this all the time, and the way they were saying it was like, oh no, it should go this because of this, and this, and I'm like, oh, whatever.
um
So yeah, I think a certification is needed. Whether it be, and I think iCar needs to step up, or we need to, allow
yeah,
iCar to facilitate some type of certification. It's in our area, it's in our realm. They do a lot of body work. They do a little bit of mechanical. You get the aluminum and all that stuff.
yeah.
I think iCar, yeah, I,
Excel dent removal says he would say customer education is what's needed.
of course. I try. If anybody needs any help doing YouTube or any of that stuff, I am an open book when it comes to that, because I think the more channels, the more information out there, the better.
Yeah.
Especially if it's good information, I think is 100% needed. So,
Yeah. No, I think that's
and
actually a
and
great
and
point. Customer
Steve does
education.
too. He'll help you too if you reach out to him. I think he actually started a little Facebook group. I think it's like a video marketing. I think for PDR.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Now, Grey Duck said, "What about Veil or ARC or ARC?"
Y- yeah, yeah. Yeah. I don't know about Vail. Is it something that's maybe possibly in the West Coast or like
It's
because I've never seen it.
they have a PDR technician certification,
Okay.
um, and it's endorsed by the National Association of PDR, so NAPDR.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a professional certification as it designates recipients as having excelled in highly specialized hands-on testing of PDR.
Yeah.
So
Well,
there,
this has to be valuable because body shops require it or insurance companies require it. Then in reality, the customer would at least kind of look into it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I think me being able to or our team being able to power down like Tesla vehicles and being,
EV.
able to, yeah, the EV certification, that has more weight than this PDR. I've had two Tesla owners ask me, "Do I know how to power down their vehicle?" And I mean,
I've had one write the
the power down
instructions
procedures.
in the trunk.
Wow,
It was on the quarter panel and
wow.
they wrote it in there. Thankfully they did. And this was I think sometime last year,
Wow.
and this is kind of actually before these little trainings started popping up. But he wrote the entire power down procedure. It's just pretty simple and straightforward.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it is.
yeah, he wrote them in there for me just so
But
I
if a
knew.
customer, not necessarily Anna, but is that kind
Into
of
their
yeah
car and
into their car where you can
understands
do
that
that?
that is
So it's like having a certification would have definitely put some ease into that
yeah,
gentleman's mind, and he would have been an ambassador for your company. And then
yeah.
obviously, I mean, in racing, you have to have a license. I mean, it's just everywhere you go, there's some cert or some license. It just has to be regulated in that regard. I think Arc is doing like a gold, or they do a silver, a bronze, or something like that, and a lot of people like them. Maybe we need to get behind. I think it's the ARC certification, right? The one that they come. I think it's the ARC. Maybe we need to get behind that. I've totally forgot to apply for mine. But yeah, I definitely looked into that, and I think it's something good. They send you a little plaque, and I think it's free or very inexpensive. So whoever's putting that together, kudos
No.
to you guys. Looks like who is it? Tom Price.
They just have featured members here, but
Oh,
I know
okay,
Tom
okay.
probably I think is one of them.
Yeah, so kudos to them. They're putting that together. I've heard nothing but good things about that. So um
But
maybe
I
that needs to
mean,
be.
and push and polish kind of at a point. He's like, how many customers have really asked about certifications? Like, be honest. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, in my career, I think zero. Like, realistically,
But I think with all these, modern cars that are coming out, and I
hmm
think the insurance company has to worry about proper people working on cars or proper technicians, that know how to work, with the lawsuits that are coming out right now. I mean, look at legally, they're not supposed to sway customers, and look what happens. They sway customers to go. I think 90% of the customers, they can lead to whatever they want to
is
go.
it just going to take, and I'm just kind of taking straight lines here, but do you think it's going to just be up to the insurance companies to finally dictate, like, hey, we need
Well,
certified or,
unfortunately, regulations come when when people are in like go, and are in jeopardy of being harmed. And so that's when regulations come. And then now certifications are needed because regulations are there.
makes sense.
So
And who's going to dictate that?
it's going to start with the general public just being upset at the repairs that come out of their car.
Got it.
And so expectations. So it all starts with expectations. I feel as though they don't know what to expect on either a quality, even a quality, paint job, let alone a quality, PDR job. So we can help with the expectations with the YouTube videos, Instagram, informing our customers what to expect. I'll tell all my customers, I'm gonna go price shop. I say, okay, well, normally what people would do is drill a hole in your door. We do not drill. So just be mindful of that because they may or may not tell you. And so when they go to the next technician, are you gonna drill? Are you gonna make an access
Yeah.
hole in my car? Yes, sir. So we have to oh, okay. All right. He's gonna be thinking about that. What is he gonna be thinking? The last thing I just told
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So that alone is like customers' expectations.
Like Excel said, customer education.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's gonna sway the industry in a big wave. I think we were doing some tests with YouTube a few months back, and we said the largest paintless dent repair channel is around 20,000 at that particular time, but the largest detailed channel was around a half a million subs, I believe. And so their industry has been able to go from just regular old cleaning a car and just making it shine to complete paint correction, coating, this high-end clear bra. And if you guys are on, wait, of course you're on YouTube, you're on here, but there's Chicago Auto Pros that has a really good YouTube channel. They have been pushing this $10,000
They're
detail.
killing it. They're
Yeah,
killing
and
it.
it's a nice video. It goes through all the proper steps. But when it's again, they're on the customer's expectations. So it's like you can get the best detail possible and it will cost you $10,000.
Yeah.
You know,
That's it.
people
I
don't
mean,
want us
like,
to
come
push
and pay it or
help
not. Like,
out for
but that's it. Yeah.
$10,000. And it's like, yeah, we haven't done our part by giving information to the customers because we've been nose deep in dealing with the wholesalers, dealing with the
Pricing
dealerships,
and
the
this
pricing, and
and
trying to fight that customer in front of us more so than trying to spend time helping the community, going out to some of these, local high school events and showing them how
yeah.
to work because they're
So
gonna run home to their mom and dad.
and so once the certification is in place and Push and Polish said being certified doesn't make you good,
Of
and
course.
it doesn't matter what field you're in, just
Yeah.
having a certification. Um, I know you could be A+ certified in computers, right?
Yeah.
And or CCNA, but you still don't know how to, run a home
Right.
network
Right.
or how to
Right.
take apart a laptop. But
Right.
you're certified, you have it. I did it. Here's my certs. Um, yeah, I don't know if I think it's a certification will weed out,
Yeah.
I
Of
think,
course.
a lot of people who are just kind of in this for the money, the fly by night, the uh quick, yeah, I can fix your dent real quick for,
Well, see,
$40 type.
the iCar certification where it worked, it was supposed to, if I remember correctly, it was supposed to help the technician if there was any issues
Mm,
because they know proper procedure. And so basically it's like a legal thing. And so that's why I believe in that lawsuit, the technician was charged because he was certified. So I'm looking at this Tesla vehicle. I was sitting there at the EV training, and I'm looking at all these computers and all these things. Even if it is not even an EV vehicle, all this stuff that you take apart, you have to post scan the car to clear all the codes. All of this crazy stuff. You got to be mindful of the sensors in the doors and all of this stuff. Why isn't someone somewhat certified working on this vehicle? Because if I owned $100,000 car and someone was taking apart my door, that would be the first thing I would want to know. Obviously, reviews do that right now, but I would want someone that at least knows how to work on that vehicle working on my $100,000 car. So customer expectations probably needs to be more so, yeah, that. That's a little marketing idea right there, guys. So if you didn't get it, you didn't get it. but, but yeah. So, we talked about the popularity. I have here in my notes popularity and customer view of the industry. So we've already touched on that. Scalable. We know there's some hard things about scaling this type of
yeah.
business. The best advice I can give you is put systems in place. I just got off the phone with one of the techs and a little stressed out of some of the things he was doing inside of his business that he just didn't account for when he had a brick and mortar building. And I told him, those things that are going to stress you out are just going to it's going to deteriorate your kind of like your stress. Like I mean, not your stress is your mental health,
Yeah.
and just create more stress on you. So I said, fix that quickly. You have to, Answer the door. He made it. It was funny because he said, I closed the door at the shop. So he said, the customer, I pull the car in. Customer opens the door and ding dong, you got the little chime. So he gets up off the car and he checks, oh, it's a customer going outside. Goes back where he's working,
Yeah.
ding dong. Oh, he thinks it's a customer coming
Every
in
time.
every time he comes in. And I was like, that's a simple fix. $100 TV and a camera. When you're done, just look over in that direction, or put someone up front.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. What other business has one person? Not even
Yeah.
7-Eleven has one person. Come on. Not even they don't even have two. They have like three or four running at certain hours. So and you grab what you need to go and you just gotta pay. So definitely do things first start off with the things when it comes to hiring that you either can't do or don't want to do. But I will recommend we're gonna have another episode here. I believe it's like how to hire. We're gonna give you a few steps on hiring your first employee. That is the next episode, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
the next episode. So stay tuned to next week when we talk about that. What is else with this? Is yeah, we went over to what needs the industry. Anything, any comments, any questions that we have going through before we head out?
There's some good conversation here, but
Okay.
um, you know, so Bill Ramsey here was saying he didn't think that there was any certified recognition for PDR, as it's not a recognized trade.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. Which I agree.
which is true. Yeah, it's not a
Right.
recognized trade, so there's technically no certifications for it. And I think Push and Polish said here, at Ryan Hampton's Hail Expo earlier this year, he said that there's going to be changes coming for sure, and it was talked about heavily. So I'm sure some of those will be coming through the grapevine and some of the Facebook groups and stuff, and some of these changes. Um, but yeah, it's technically, I think, not recognized as a real skill and art form at this moment. I
Yeah.
think the benefits are still being shown. I think there's so much room for growth with customer education, like Excel said earlier, which will then allow for certification and recognition to happen over time. So I'm thinking that will come eventually. I just know it's not right now, and it hasn't been for the longest time. So a lot of
Yeah.
people have been getting away with just certain things, I think, within PDR, and their businesses themselves. So, um,
Well, we were doing a little research. We noticed that was it Dinking? Dinking, right?
for what?
The school.
Hmm.
All right. They were an accredited like school for the state or the county, right? They have to show
For
their curriculum and
California, yeah,
everything. Yeah. So
they were technically a
at vocational school.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So I don't know if that was the PDR side. It had to be a little bit of PDR because they train you for multiple things. But I thought that was pretty amazing that they were able to turn it into a vocational school. So that had to be recognized as a some type of a trade, right?
yeah,
Their program, I would think. So maybe it's coming. 'Cause I'm pretty sure their curriculum is public, so you can see almost everything that they teach
yeah.
people, so pretty sure that information they don't want to share out, but I think it's by law they have to.
But as we talked
Um,
about, it doesn't matter that the whole thing is there, right?
yeah,
I
I
mean,
guess
it's
you're
like it's
right,
going to be
yeah.
up to the person actually training and if they can do it or not. So,
Yeah, true.
we could, you throw out videos that are 17, 25 minutes long, step by step on how to fix this RAV4 deck lid, doesn't mean someone's going to take those same tools and be able to actually recreate the same work that you did. It's going to be up to that person themselves to really hone
Yeah,
into their skill.
yeah. We really want the industry to grow. We think we're on the beginning, kinda stages of this growth, I'm 50 years old. That's about maybe 25 years later. But when I'm 50 years old, it's gonna be amazing to see where this industry has gone. And I think I'm gonna be happy to be a part of it, to be honest. So, we thought this topic would be great. The truth of the PDR industry is hard, it's tough right now, but I really feel like it's getting better every single day. You got Ryan Hampton, was just talking about it, what Q was just saying. You got guys that are investing tons of time, tons of money, not only into themselves, but they're into the industry because they believe the industry is going to grow. And I feel like more and more guys just need to, stand behind them or stand on their own and help them in the way that they can. And you'll really start to see this industry move. It was about 5 years ago, and I don't think paint correction and paint coating was even in my mind, to be honest, maybe 5, 6 years ago. I didn't even know what it was, and I'm
Yeah.
in the car industry.
Hmm.
Now all of a sudden, it's like every Tesla that gets drives off the lot is getting a clear bra, paint correction, and ceramic pro. So
Yeah.
just in a half a decade, someone is able to turn something that would normally people would pay $300 for, and are now charging, upwards of 2 grand for that, not exact same service, but more. Now the skill comes into it, where paint correction and stuff like that requires a lot more tools, a lot more skill, and obviously technique to do. So,
And
I,
Dinking is also recognized by the VA as a provider, which is huge.
oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice,
Yeah. Thanks, Chris, for that.
yeah. So kudos to this. So that's the end of the show. I would guess, right? You want to thank our sponsors?
Yeah, we do want to thank Blehm Tool Company, Mobile Tech RX, and Dentcraft Tools. So if you guys are looking for or in the market for something new, check out those two companies first. They do help support this show and help this keep up and running. And then Mobile Tech RX, if you're not using that for invoicing, estimating, your CRM or your uh,
Estimating,
yeah, your
invoicing,
POS,
yeah.
then yeah, not your CRM, your POS. If you're not using that, you guys definitely need to get on that, or at least look into it, see how they can actually help you. Um, so check out the sponsors. Also, guys, if you didn't know that there is a podcast, so we do take this information, we do put it in audio form so you can listen to it while you're pushing or in the car on the way to your first customer. You can check it out Google Play, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. So you can find these every Monday. We are doing these live on YouTube. And then also we do have some unscripted versions, which is
Yeah,
pretty much me and Chris talking off the cuff about PDR, just like we do with these. We just go a little more in depth and sometimes a
yeah.
little bit
A little more
quicker,
raw,
yeah, a
yeah.
little more raw, yeah, just off the cuff. So stay tuned for that as well. So you can just check out those. Thanks to our sponsors and
Yeah. Don't
thank
forget
you.
to give us some thumbs up on your way out.
Yeah,
And just like Slick said. So, and check out that book if anybody's interested, Multipliers, I believe. So, yeah, that's it, right?
that is it.
All right, guys, we'll see you on the next show, which we'll be talking about hiring your first employee. All right, guys. So definitely check us out next week. We'll see you guys on the next show.
Thank you guys.
Peace.